hit the start recording. Is it going? So there's actually a Q&A at the end. So, all right. So anyways, so my speech is about having a happy and successful marriage. So, and actually, I'll start off with some staggering, shocking facts. There's actually, here in America, a divorce rate is between 40 and 50%. So my generation right now, half of them that are getting married are divorcing within just a few years. So anyway, so I ended up doing some research and looking around on ways to be able to prevent that and have a happy and successful marriage. And so some of the things was, first of all, was having God at the forefront of your marriage and having like a faith in the Lord. With that, building your marriage on that, having a focus that there's something that's better than you, that's greater than you, that gave you life that you guys can focus on. And they actually found in one of the studies was by Samuel Perry, sorry. And he had an article that was a scholarly peer-reviewed article, and his article was Build Marriage on God. And he actually had some other facts in there too, some other statistics. Some of his was that Catholics are actually 31% less likely to divorce, Protestants are 35% less likely to divorce, and Jews are actually 97% less likely to divorce. Wow. And that was just, I don't know, that kind of blew me away. It was like staggering. So, and these are all part of the Christian faith. I know that there's like different beliefs within those, but just going to show that, having a faith and belief system in God and in our Lord, that it really helps the marriage along. And with that, I also want to say, like in Ephesians 4:26, which is kind of leading into my next point, it talks about don't go to bed, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. And that will kind of go into my next point, where it talks about like to have a successful marriage is to work through conflict as best as possible. So definitely, like if you are having any disputes with your spouse, that you're not going to bed mad at each other, that if you need to take a breather and step out, then you take a breather and step out and you come back and you resolve the issue. And even within that, that you're not veering off and name calling and going at the person's character, that you stay focused on the issue. And you guys like come together and work to resolve on that. So, and they found that, which kind of ties in with communication a little bit, they found that most marriages that can communicate and resolve conflicts in old-fashioned stuff tend to do a lot better. And anyways, and then that will lead me into my last point. So my last point is having positive relationships with other happily married couples. And there was an article by David Kalak, and he had an article. It says surround yourself with healthy couples. And in that article, he talked about, and he gave some facts about that marriages that have relationships with other healthy married couples actually tend to do better, and they end up tending to last a lot longer than couples who just go home maybe to each other just every night and don't have too many other couple relationships. So, which is actually one awesome thing that you see here all the time. Couples all coming together, having a good time, fellowshipping, reading in the Word, so having some good food. So, and anyways, so in David Kalak's research, he said that so positive relationships with other couples tends to end up having for a better marriage, and that having other couples in your life, if you have other healthy married couples that are in your life that you're friends with, and you can look at the things that they're doing and try to emulate those things and mirror those things and apply them to your marriage. And that when you have rocky times in your marriage, that you can actually maybe go to those couples and be able to talk to them and work through some of the maybe the conflicts. You can almost have like a accountability kind of partner couple. So, and tying back into my last point about the conflicts is like I know my generation likes to put everything out like on social media a lot, and it's keeping those conflicts actually in the house between you and your wife, and you have those healthy couple married relationships that you might have that one person you can talk to and confide in. So I just kind of want to like transition into my ending here, is that going back, like there is many different ways to have a healthy, successful marriage. These are just three of them. So keeping God first, being able to work through conflicts, and having healthy relationships with other married couples. and you do those three things, then you're on a good path to having a nice successful marriage. So that's my speech, and I'll actually open up the floor real quick if anybody has any questions or comments.
One of the best ways to keep a marriage together is to be able to talk over the difficulties and problems.
Yes.
Have communications between each other.
Yes, absolutely, and that's I mean, I'm glad that you bring that up, because that was definitely one of the things like talking about is like I guess communication, like I was saying, does tie into the conflicts and stuff, because regardless, like, we're all human, we all have emotions, and we're all also full of sin, so you're going to have conflicts, we're all going to disagree on stuff. So being able to communicate through those is a big part, instead of holding it in, and then all of a sudden you build up resentment and things can end, so
I belong to an organization called Toastmasters International. We had 27 ums. That is excellent for a 5-minute speech and a beginner, but I encourage you to improve it. Your eye contact went all the way around the room. You did not stick on one person, which is absolutely phenomenal. Your diction was perfect. Your subject, you went right from one subject to another. You let your audience know, because some of them are, I don't think your talk is boring at all, but some of them may be nodding off. So you gave them pointers. My next point is, and my last point is, and to me that was good navigation. So I would rank your talk superior.
Alright. Now listen, your mothers and my marriage have found that God puts opposites together. Now, you and you married 7 months. How would you consider you and Amy?
Yeah, absolutely. Very opposite. But and actually, and I'm glad that you bring that up, because we had that talk as well and stuff. And I do feel like a lot of marriages that you kind of discover that you have a lot of opposites, and that you have two choices. You either let them bother you, and because it's like, oh, she's not like me or he's not like me, or you say, you know what, we can work this to our benefit. You're good at this and I'm good at this. Let's pair them together as a team.
You know what I got that? The sheep are food sheep.
Yeah.
Everything I don't have, that's it.
And I think that goes back to in the very beginning of the Bible, where God made Eve, because He made us, He made a helper and stuff like that. Said, hey, man is lonely, we need two. And then, get paired up with people that are opposites and stuff like that, and you can be a driving force in one heck of a team. Definitely. Anybody else?
Well, you have two people with two totally different lives that you're trying to mesh together as one.
Yeah.
And I remember Jimmy Evans, who's a preacher who talks about marriage a lot. He said that God created marriage where it would fail if He wasn't the center of it, to hold it all together.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really...
Yeah, and I do agree with that. And that's actually why, like, in this speech, why the very first point I brought up is having God first. Because I believe that right there is the center and the glue, and then everything else is the second most important part and stuff. So.
If He can be your sounding board, then you need to...
Exactly. When there is no other friends people talk to, there is nobody else in your marriage is rocky, you have God to lean on. So, absolutely.
Very good.
All right. Anybody else? Thank you guys. I appreciate it.